Okay. Okay, everyone. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Everyone hear me? Thumbs up. Okay, so the next couple of days, as we're making our way closer to Yom Ha'atzmaut, let's have everyone join us with video, please. Okay, this is our minhag. We join with video. Okay. So I'd like to study parts of Hallel, and in particular, the 4 psukim that lead up to the climax of Hallel. The climax of Hallel is, of course, Ana Hashem Hoshiana, Ana Hashem Matzlichana. We recite them. They're very simple, unadorned psukim. We ask Hashem for salvation. We ask Hashem for assistance, for success. Certainly over the last 2 months when we've recited Hallel, Rosh Chodesh, Pesach, this week, those phrases have greater resonance to us when we just look to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say, please Hashem, we just need your help. We don't even know how to ask. It's a very simple, straightforward plea for help. But what about the psukim that lead up to Ana Hashem Hoshiana, Ana Hashem Matzlichana? So each day we'll study one of those psukim. Today we'll study the pasuk Odecha Hashem ki ani sani, vatihi li lishua. I thank you, Hashem, Odecha ki ani sani, because you have answered my tfilos. Vatihi li lishua. So this is a pasuk that marks a bit of a transition, because all the prakim, remember, Hallel is a series of prakim in Tehillim. So all the psukim that we've read and all the prakim until now have carried a tone of crisis. Min hametzar karasika, I look to you from a point of constraint, of being limited, of being locked in. Da'achu ke'ish kotzim, they're setting me afire and they're ruining me like thorns. They're putting me on fire. Sabuni gam sivavuni, they're surrounding me like bees. Sabuni kidvarim. Ana Hashem chalzanashi mimavas, please Hashem, take me out of the throes of death. Lo lanu Hashem lo lanu. So we had 5 or 6 prakim, 4 or 5 prakim leading up to this. And now there's a sense, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have answered our tefillos. Odcha Hashem ki ani sani. And the next 4 psukim will all be triumphant and jubilant. Evan Masu Habonim Hasel Rosh Pina. We're now once again restored to historical primacy. Hashem Hashem. So you have to be sensitive to the fact that Odcha Hashem ki ani sani is a transitional moment in Hallel. You don't always sense that, but until now, it's been pleading with HaKadosh Baruch Hu for salvation. Now we feel that we've received the salvation. Odcha Hashem, I thank you, ki ani sani, which makes it a very, very reflective pasuk for Yom Ha'atzmaut. Because for 2,000 years, it wasn't so easy to have the sense that Hashem was answering our tefillos. For 2,000 years, it was very dark. For 2,000 years, it was very bleak. Now, of course, Hashem answered our tefillos. And many times those answers were yes, in a much more limited phrase, not nationally and historically, but Hashem saved us and rescued us and provided our needs. And sometimes during those 2,000 years, Hashem said no to our tefillos. And sometimes during those 2,000 years, Hashem said yes, we just thought it was no, but it was very confusing. And imagine all the Jews throughout history who said, Odcha Hashem ki ani sani, and it rankled them a little bit. How can I thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu when I don't really know how he's answered me? But now, for our generation, when we exclaim, Odcha Hashem ki ani sani, it's very, very transparent. Yes, Hashem has answered us. We're back in our home. We're back to historical relevancy. Hashem has rescued us time and again from Sabuni Gam Sivavuni, from all these neighbors that just surround us on every corner and just want to defeat us. Odcha Hashem ki ani sani. So this is a transitional pasuk. It transitions Hallel from plea, petitioning, crisis into salvation and jubilation. And it has such a relevance and a transparency we can really see Hashem answering our tefillos in a way, not that he never answers our tefillos, but in a way that it was difficult for us to see it and imagine it for 2,000 years. So that's the first level of Odcha Hashem ki ani sani. However, Chazal also interpret it not ani sani, but ini sani. The word is anisani, but if you change the patach under the ayin to the tzir, it's inisani. Inisani is a very different meaning, that you've tormented us, that you've punished us. Le'anot means to punish. La'anot with a patach means to answer. Le'anot means to punish, to torment, to persecute. Why in the world would we be thanking Hashem, Odcha Hashem ki inisani? Well, there are two answers to that question. One is because the word ki, Odcha Hashem ki, doesn't always mean because. Sometimes the word ki means despite the fact. So Hosea, in the famous Haftarah of Shabbos Tshuva, says, Shuva Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha, return to Hashem, ki kashalta bavonecha. Not because you've sinned, well, not only, but even though you've sinned, return to Hashem. V'salachta la'avoni, David HaMelech asks, please forgive my sin, ki ravhu, even though it's so great, even though it's so immense. So one of the four meanings of ki is even though. So in our context, Odecha Hashem ki inisani, it's read anisani, but Chazal interpreted inisani, even though we've suffered, we're still loyal to you. You still can't break the love between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Odecha Hashem, no matter what you do to us, you can bring a Holocaust upon us. We're not going to stop believing in you and loving you and serving you. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. Again, the timing may be a little bit different for different places, but at 3:15 today, Eastern Standard Time, which would be 10:15 Israel time. So you do the math. I'm giving a shiur for the yahrzeit of Rav Lichtenstein, and I'm discussing Rav Lichtenstein's approach to bitachon. It'll all be posted. Don't worry, you can listen to the recording, to the video. But I'm talking about Rav Aaron had his very powerful line, the only fate worse than suffering for a human being is to be distanced from Hashem. So even if we suffer, we still don't want to give up that relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it's a very powerful sense of loyalty, of commitment. No matter what happens to us, we'll withstand it and we'll love you, Odecha Hashem, and we'll thank you for whatever we're able to thank you for. Now, the final translation of Odecha Hashem ki inisani, the second one, is the more classic approach to ki. That's the hardest to make sense of. Odecha Hashem, I want to thank you, ki inisani, because we've suffered. We thank you for our suffering. How do we thank Hashem for our suffering? We thank Hashem because He's answered our tefillas, anisani. We thank Hashem despite the fact that we've suffered because we're so loyal to you. But to take inisani and apply the word because, well, let's think a little bit about the last 2,000 years of Jewish history. Secular Zionism looks back at those years as dark, meaningless, pointless. Jewish history began in 48. Everything beforehand was a wash, was a loss. We don't see it that way. Look at what the Jewish people accomplished in 2,000 years, despite all the odds. Look at the Torah we developed. Look at the heritage we established. Look at the communities we've built. Look at the families. Look at the identity. Look at the thought. Look at the way we changed the world. So we thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for this, what we accomplished during the time of suffering. Because for us, it wasn't just a time of scratching out lines on a wall. When will Geula come? When will Geula come? When will redemption come? But we changed the world during the time of our suffering. And in some ways, and this is a harder concept to wrap your head around, our suffering spared us from worse suffering. Because we really didn't have a Jewish empire or Jewish people during, let's face it, the last 2,000 years weren't just dark for Jews. The last 2,000 years were dark for humanity. There was a period between the year around 500 and 1500, the year of feudalism and the dark Middle Ages and medieval Europe, in which much of humanity was sunken into backwardness and regression and inertia. And empires came and empires fell. And Rome arose and Rome fell. And Persia rose and Persia fell. And the Turkish Empire, so many empires during this period suffered. And the Jews never really had an empire or a people, so we lived on the fringes. We lived on the fringes of history. We lived beyond the impact of history. So in some odd way, again, we don't know Hashem's will. We don't know why Hashem planned it this way. But had the Jewish people had an empire during these years, of course, it would have been Mashiach, it would have been a much brighter period for humanity. But in theory, the Jewish people were able to outlive some of the tragedies that befell various countries and empires through our suffering. So think about that other. It's a more controversial, more challenging, provocative way to understand Odcha Hashem ki anisani. Think about the first one, anisani, you've answered us. Think about the second one, despite the fact that we've suffered, but also think about what the suffering did for us and how it changed the arc of Jewish history. So Mitzvah Hashem, each day this week, I'm now on your WhatsApp list. I'll be able to tell you if there's a little bit of a delay. I have to take my son to a doctor today. So tomorrow we'll talk about Evan Masu Habonim. What is that pas? Me'ez Hashem ha'yisazel, so that when Wednesday comes, we say Hallel, some of these psukim can have deeper meaning. Okay, everyone?
Thank you.
Yasha koach. Let me just say hello to everyone. Wish everyone a good week. A lot of events happening today. I'm sure you're getting all the feed from Yeshiva. There's some Rav Aaron Shiurim. There's a Yom Ha'atzmaut. There's a Rav Aaron gathering tonight. So all the Ramim are gathering tonight at 3:10 Eastern Standard. It's all going to be recorded and everything. Don't worry. And a lot of things to follow this week. Okay. Have a great day, everyone. You're all on tap. So a big hello.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rav. Thank you.
You're all unmuted.
Thank you, Rav.
Hello, Sam. Hello, Ben. Hello, Yehuda, Shmuel, Gabi. Bye.